Hey folks, Dwayne here, the Curious Sage, and today I want to address the fundamental question of why being a light worker means so much to me. One of the things that impassions me more than anything else is helping others to step into their highest purpose. A couple of days ago, I penned a few articles on my latest zombie apocalypse experience. But it goes much deeper for me in terms of what I observed and what I felt in those moments. And it gets to the very heart of why I'm doing the work that I'm doing. So one of the things that I mentioned in that article, in the first article actually, was people living lives in quiet desperation. So one of the things that has really been a driving factor in my life and in my journey is helping others to step into and up to their true highest purpose. And so as I think about the times in my life that I've been able to work with people and I see that spark kind of start to come alive and I see them realizing that there's so much more to life than the drudgery of going to work every day or the drudgery of having to deal with people and situations and trying to just scrape by to make a living. I realize that folks feel trapped. And my real objective in life is helping people realize they don't have to be trapped. Now, there's a practical element of making a living, may be able to have a nice automobile to drive or reliable transportation at least, having a roof over your head and food on the table. And yet there's so much more. And so when I find people that come to me naturally, they come because they're being driven to realize that they can reach further, that there's more to this life than scraping by and making a living and waiting around till you hopefully saved enough money for retirement. So for me, being able to see people truly come alive is what drives me more than anything else. Just the other day, I was working with a young lady who was in a position, she had gotten a new manager, and in that she found herself feeling trapped. She found herself feeling undervalued. And the time that I was able to spend with her, I helped her to realize and to see that she is so much more valuable than the work that she was doing, that there was intrinsic value in who she was and the spark and creativity. In fact, I had remarked to her that I missed her smile because she always had this big bubbly smile on her face, and after the more recent changes and stuff, she realized this is not what I want to do, but I feel like I don't have any other options. And so the little time I was able to spend with her, I was able to help her to reawaken to her true higher potential. And just this last week, she was selected for a new position, and that smile came back, and I can't tell you how much that means to me. And I look back at many clients I've worked with and people just in day-to-day life, they feel attracted to me. And when I look at my own sense of purpose in life, it is helping people to find the spark once again and to realize and trust in themselves enough to be able to step into a higher purpose, the reason they're here. So many times I think folks just get to a point in their life where they're on autopilot and they really wonder, is this all there is? Is this what my life is supposed to be all about? Working 25, 30, 40 years. In some cases, you look at older folks that have to go back to work again just to be able to put food on the table. Is that what it's all about? And I began to realize about 10 years ago that that's not what it's all about. That living up to, into, and reaching higher is what it's all about. We're called to be connected. And so for me, what I have found more than anything else is that it is in connection that true awakening happens. And that connection has to happen heart to heart, soul to soul. And the only way for that to happen is to get to know people and to be present fully present to people in those moments where they're looking for new answers. They're looking to do more with their life than just simply getting by. And so when I formed my organization, Connect to Action, my company was always focused on trying to help people connect to that higher purpose and to take action on the things that they discover about themselves. This isn't about me and providing words of wisdom or pearls of wisdom. I've had clients talk to me as if I'm some incredible sage that brings all this wisdom and guidance and inspiration and stuff. It is in people discovering it within themselves. Because when they discover it within themselves, that's when they take action. So it's not the magic that comes with anything that I've learned or shared or anything. It is when they decide to find it within themselves. And that is when real awakening happens. And so when I look at answering the question, why do I do the work that I do? What is this light worker work that I am called to? It is a calling to help people rediscover within themselves what their highest purpose is. Whether it is an executive in a company or it's people working in the trenches, it is that human spirit that comes alive and helps people to go, wow, I can be more than what I am. I can stretch further than I can stretch. The background behind me is Ollantaytambo in Peru. And last year I had the privilege of making that trip. And it's standing on the top of Ollantaytambo and looking down. And all around you are mountains that are even higher. And it was a reminder to me that even though I have accomplished a lot of things in my life, that I've reached the top, so to speak, there are always new peaks. And so another benefit of the work that I do with people is it's always calling me to reach higher. Because if I'm reaching higher, I can always help others realize, hey, I made it to this point, you can too. And you can even reach further than I have. And so light work to me is about calling people to their greatness. And that's what I'm all about.